Anyway, hi, I'm Cristiano. Thank you all for joining. I was going to ask the question, like, who here is setting up their devrel team, but Rob kind of beat me to the punch on that one. So thank you all for putting up your hand for that. I work for Braintree, PayPal. I'm going to be talking about tooling your way to a great devrel team. It's not going to be as animated as Rob's talk. Less videos, less GIFs. This is the animation I have for you. Ooh. Let's do that again. One more time. That's it. That's it. That's what you're getting. So, I'm senior developer advocate at our team. I've been doing this for 3 years. And when I tell people that what I do, they're like, "Oh, you're one of these people who travels a lot. You must be like, this sounds like a lot of fun." And I'm like, well, it basically makes me an expert in kind of airport safety manuals, like airline safety manuals, which, I don't know, like the rest of you, I probably sleep through it. Who here sleeps through those by now? Yeah, see, this is the hardcore people. yeah, exit there. Oh, on that note, where are the exits? We should probably know. Anyway, so I travel a lot, but I do a lot of other stuff on our team as well. So one of the things I do is, one of the other titles I have on my team, although it's changed a lot, but I've decided to give it this title, is Master Builder, which, yes, is a Lego term, but that's a Lego me. So I'm allowed to, right? That will do. I think any developer evangelist has a history. You can't see a developer evangelist just as what they are in the role that they do. You need to look at a wider picture. So for me, I've done about 6 years of startups, some consulting, some freelancing, mainly here in London. I've been CTO, lead dev, beta ops, which is basically doing DevOps / just IT support for anybody who needs it. My mom, mainly. So a lot of that kind of stuff, and since 2013 I've been at first PayPal dev, and then we changed that into Braintree dev, so lots of fun stuff there. Now, what does Braintree do? For those of you not familiar, we power payments for pretty much these companies. If you don't know them, use them, they're pretty cool. We also like to have fun with ASCII art. This was in Mission in San Francisco, just to show that that's real. That's me and Joe, actually there. I travel a lot for BattleHack. Who here has been to BattleHack? Yeah. Awesome, cool. So BattleHack is like a crazy, for those of you who don't know, it's a hackathon, but when you say, ooh, a hackathon organized by PayPal, that might not be that interesting. Well, screw you. We like to have a lot of fun. So this year we've gone full on neon style. Last year we had Vikings, and of course the winning, beside a trip to San Jose, we give away axes as trophies, because we just like seeing hackers on the underground with an axe, because what's the worst thing that can happen? But that's one of our programs, right? So this is our program for developers. We have a whole bunch of other programs like Commerce Factory we ran last year. We're kind of phasing that one out. There was a meetup series that we did. We run Blueprint, which is where we give startups free processing for the first 18 months of their existence. We have a Star Tank program where we give away office space in our office to 6 startups each 6 months. And then, shameless plug, tomorrow we're starting this, so we have a talk series happening in Skills Matters, where we have the CTO of the Obama campaign of 2012 coming by to London to just talk about working for the White House. That's a lot of different programs that we have and a lot of different stuff. And like Rob said, once you start doing all of these different things, we didn't start doing these all in one go, right? But we started to build these over time. The thing is, to really get the value out of it and explain to the rest of your business what you're doing, you need to build the tools to actually be able to get out of this the information, the metrics, etc., that you want to be able to tell the rest of the company that you. Hello, my mic is.
That's fine.
No, it's fine. Okay. Sorry, I'll keep it a bit closer to my mic. So I had in 2013 we tied a lot of this stuff together with, sticky tape and glue. We had our events in Eventbrite. We had a whole bunch of stuff in MailChimp. We kind of like tied everything together, and we had some stuff here, and we had to pull it in here and put it in there. And like, if I wanted to get some statistics about like, okay, how many developers have we interacted with in 2014, it would have taken me a long time to come up with that answer, and that is a problem. So. There's a couple of reasons that I wanted to start building some new stuff for our team. One of them is that I wanted to program. I am a programmer. I'm a developer. I want to build stuff. So far, I've done 99 days of travel this year, according to TripIt. There's probably about 99 new JavaScript MVCs by now this year. You can't stay up to date if you don't have some projects to work on. Some projects to play with, some projects to try out something new. But the more important one to me is that as your team grows, which hopefully if your evangelism team is doing its job well, you'll get the opportunity to grow out a team. You need to be able to do more with that team. You can't, even if you don't grow the team, you want to do more next year with the same people as you did this year. So for that to work, you need to start building tools that allow you to allow you to eliminate these repetitive tasks and simplify them. Now, the way I see that is, we're a startup. This is our team. 2013, when I started, we were about 11 people. End of last year, we were about 30. That's insane. That's like crazy growth. We're hoping to grow that even further, obviously. And we're not a lot like this. We don't wear the suits. We're also not a lot like that, except for Joe occasionally. We're a bit more like that, ASCII people. Actually, this is us at the end of, I think this is the end of last year. This is only like half of the team. Anyway, but for startups, it's important to build side projects. It's important to build these tools that really allow you to kind of simplify the processes inside of your company to do more. I mean, the good examples are companies like Slack, which is a funny story because the guys who were involved with that were also involved in Flickr, which just like Slack is a side project. It's a side project that was built as a tool to help them do what they wanted to do for the game that they wanted to build, and the game didn't quite get where they wanted to go, so they pivoted and changed, and they at least had something to come out of that. So for us, that is the tools that allow us to do evangelism better. So what is that for us? What have we built so far? We built a couple of cool things. So in 2014, we launched the DataHack website, and I've realized this is a 2015 site, but it's the same system powering both. We have our full-on ticketing system, which admittedly only ever breaks in London, because it's the only community that, we have about 600 people trying to get 50 tickets. And that's when concurrency really kicks in. Barbara's looking at me like, yeah, I know, it's twice in a row. But it's fun stuff. So this is custom built, but it means we can pull in our information ourselves, and we can actually start properly looking at the statistics in one system. So we now have a pretty good database. This is the behind the scenes of the DataHack system. I had to obscure quite a few things because I'm not allowed to share that information. But we can go in and we can see what the we can fully customize the entire system. We can customize the events. We can customize how it works. I can see exactly all the tickets, who signed up, what they signed up for, when they did, whether or not they've cancelled. Like I said, there's a bit of a CMS element to it where I can fully customize the way, the text that is being shown, which year, this is actually for the year. I can define new cities, I can do recurring cities, but the really powerful stuff, there's a lot of CMS stuff. I can update the judges and specify who they belong to, I can update the partners that we work with and which cities they are attending, for FAQ, but the really powerful stuff to me is in this kind of stuff. So we have fully customized email system that allows us to just send out emails specifically to specific segments which are completely customized, and it's all localized to the right time zone, so we don't run into issues where it's like we're sending somebody in Chicago or something at 9 a.m. London time, which would be messed up. But the nice thing is like fully automated and it's fully integrated in the same system. We can even schedule releases, so we can schedule full-on ticket releases when they go out, how many tickets, which emails need to be sent out to it. So something that would, if we would have to do that for every city, because we're doing 14 cities a year. Like if you do one event a year, that's okay. But if you do 14 cities a year, you need to start scripting the hell around this to make this fluid as possible. It's now just a few clicks and we've got a new release set up for a city, including all the emails. To do that in like Eventbrite with MailChimp, with like all the kind of different systems, it would take us half an hour. This doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think about the amount of emails that we're sending, the amount of stuff that we're posting, the amount of cities that we're doing, and every year over and over again, this is not the stuff you want to do. This is not what you signed up for, right? You signed up to have fun. So that's just an example of how we can specify a confirmation reminder. You might have seen this is where we ask people to actually confirm whether or not they're still coming. This is something I nicked from my days of running bar camp. We did that, and it turns out to be a pretty good metric for seeing if people are attending. Our ratio of confirmed to actually attending is pretty good. So as you can see, that's actually what I was going to talk about next. So for London, this year, we had 382 people sign up. About 30% of them cancelled. So when we ask you to confirm, you have two options, confirm or cancel. So about 30% cancels, about 60% confirmed. So there's still in this case, about 10% who did not reply. That's actually quite a high response rate for us. Normally we get about 60% that actually responds. So that's either confirmed or cancelled. The rest just drops off. But the interesting one is that we had about 88% attending. And I'll come back to that kind of on a global scale in a bit. But actually, like in general, it's about 90 to 105% of the confirmed that attend. So this is 88% of confirmed actually showed up. This is really useful to our team because we have a fully dedicated operations team that run our events for us, and they're always afraid about, what if we get 226 people? Because if we get 226 people and we only have food for 200, then it's going to be a bad event, right? Being able to provide them with this information and this prediction model where we can say, no, don't worry, we're not going to have 226 people, is extremely important. Because we can look at this also from a year-to-year basis. So I know that some cities, 105% shows up, some cities 80% show up. So that information really helps us do the catering right, do the production value right, make sure we don't end up overselling or underselling our events. Full-on checking, of course, we need that to be able to actually know who's attending. As Jonathan Jeff actually doing it on an iPad. The other thing that we massively oversimplified this year was the actual sheets of attendee badges. So the first year we got fully customized badges printed, which were really awesome. But what we ended up with was about, well, as you can see, we ended up with about 50% badges never being picked up. And these things were expensive. So we started printing on transparent labels, and we just did that using a nice laser printer, which I thought was quite small, but my events team was like, no, that's a huge printer. So this year we completely went with these. We're a lot more portable. So that's like, we keep iterating, we keep changing things as we go. We can even print kind of staff badging, so we can just specify like, oh, these are the staff that is actually present this year. There's a lot more in there. Like it's basically like there's actually a roulette section in here as well, which for those of you who were at Battlehack last year, you know what that is. For the rest of you, you're like, what the hell is that? I can show it in a moment. And similarly, like we've started collecting data about the hacks and actually, what have they rehearsed? As they rehearsed, we keep track of all the information, like what technology are they using, what partners are they using, so we can actually give this information to our partners as well. Other stuff we build, clock, like a Twitter wall, fully powered by Pusher since last one, yay! And similarly, we've done a similar thing for Blueprint. So Blueprint is where we give away free free transactions to our startups. This is a very selective program. So as startups apply, we work through our partners, so through venture capitalists, through accelerator programs, and we give this stuff away. We need a full-on program to kind of be able to manage these relationships. And we could have done this in any of the official, like really cool, I want to say Salesforce, but we don't want to use Salesforce. Sorry, man. The other stuff we do is we have a very cool tool. Well, it's slow as hell at the moment. I need to figure out why. It's a tool where we can actually keep track of all the events we go to. This looks like a spreadsheet because this used to be in a spreadsheet. But I don't know if you've ever tried to keep very structured information in a spreadsheet together. What tends to happen is that some people don't know how to work spreadsheets, and they like override things by accident. So this is a lot more fault tolerant for us. And the nice thing is we can export this into an iCal feed or an anonymized iCal feed, which means I can give my wife an iCal feed of where I'm going, which is extremely useful because I don't know if you've ever tried to use the calendar features of TripIt, but it's pretty rubbish. Other things I've worked on is Commerce Factory. Like we have a whole bunch of demo code. I worked a lot on setting up the kind of coding conventions that we wanted to have around that, so that we could reproduce the same kind of code sample standards across the board. And some other stuff that I manage, the URL shortener, Sartank applications, some metrics, etc., and our code of conduct. By the way, if you run a hackathon, use this one. It's fully customizable. You can support it. You can create your own page, hack code of conduct. It's pretty cool. So how do we build that? Lots of different tech involved in that. That's the fun bit. Like we get to play with a lot of new tech. I get to play with a lot of new tech. And occasionally, I invite my colleagues to join me in that. So why does this matter? Why does this matter to you, right? So to wrap things up, we're a startup. You're a startup, especially if you're one team and you're within your small group of people within your bigger company, but you're just one person running your evangelism team. You're a startup, and you need to treat it like that. So you need to be able to show your metrics and share them with your investors, which is the rest of your company, right? So this is our growth in people, but if you look at other numbers, this is Battle.Hack, right? We've grown from 10 to 14 cities. We had 195% more ticket sales the second year as we had the first year. 223% more attendance. About 115% were confirmed, of the confirmed attended, which is amazing, and about 65% of those actually presented. We had 934 hacks this year that presented. That's a lot of demos. That's a lot of the same stuff over and over again. That's about 1650 tags recorded, right? Actually, of those, 487 were unique. And the cool stuff now is like we can actually pull out information, and I can tell you like which languages are the most successful, which languages are the most popular. So the most popular 20, here we go, and yes, this is 0 indexed. Like somewhere the Ruby is there, really low. Damn you, Node. Okay. This is how we increased our events. We went from a pretty ballsy, very low number, and we about doubled that every year. And sure, we had some new hires and we had some new people, but the only reason why we're able to do this is because we can do more with less each year. Is our event breakdown, and I can change that to one of this year. As you can see, this year we did a lot more meetups. All in all, I think, start looking, take away what you want from this talk, but I think putting somebody in charge, or at least having a plan as a team as to how to be able to collect this data and how to build these tools that allow the team to do more is pretty important. I would like to invite you tomorrow, again, to our talks at CodeNode, and I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you very much.